perimeter jump shooting team.
Well, I was concerned about their attack of the basket, second shots. Carmelo was rebounding his own misses in there. You know, Nene missed 2 around the basket. Carmelo missed a couple around there. I thought they had too much penetration personally, you know. And I thought we were sitting on the outside most of the time. They did the job getting the ball at the basket.
Kobe was aggressive, didn't make a lot of shots, but looked like he was looking for his shot. How was that for you?
Yeah, he was aggressive. He was the one guy out here I thought was aggressive on our team. Ron got inside a couple of times, but Powell's settled on the outside too much.
Thanks, Phil.
Kobe Bryant missed his first 6 shots and is 1 for 7 as he re-enters at the start of the second quarter. A moment ago you saw Gary Forbes, the rookie from U of Mass, with the bucket for Denver. Al Harrington on the foul, putting paugasol at the line. The Lakers with a record of 8-0 for the first time since the 1997-98 season when they started 11-0. And that team went on to win 61 games but lost to Utah in the Western Conference Finals. They started at 7-1 a year ago, and then in game 9, and this is game 9 of the season for the Lakers, they were blown out by the Nuggets here in Denver by 26 points.
You know, this hot start kind of surprised me. I wondered if they wouldn't be a little complacent, but I think a couple things happened. You know, this bench, as Harrington drives to the hoop and gets fouled, this bench, you see Brown, Blake, and Barnes, they have really energized this club. And the other thing is, Magic Johnson made a great comment the other day. He said what Miami did this summer really motivated the Lakers and got them excited and got them a little bit fired up for this season.
And you can see other defending champs that started at 8-0 the following season. But you look at the schedule that the Lakers play, they have opened against a very favorable slate of games. Of course, you have to win against whatever the schedule presents, and that's exactly what the Lakers have done. And the schedule is Gasol is able to hit a beautiful running hook, but it gets much tougher later on because the Lakers always have those long road trips as the season progresses. Lawson not able to hit, but it's put home by Harrington.
The other thing, Mark, the opponents may not have been the best opponents, and 6 of your first 8 are in your own building, which makes it so much easier.
Meanwhile, the Clippers have had like the hardest schedule in the league, so you can't blame arena scheduling. So it's just, you know, it's just the way it works. Obviously, it'll come back later on and go the other way.
Lakers in a stretch playing 4 of 5 at home. The next game Sunday night at Staples against Phoenix, and then that'll be followed by a 3-game road trip. Harrington gets it out, but picked off by Brown. Shannon Brown. Oh, he puts it down. He eluded J.R. Smith. He is one of the quickest dunkers in the NBA.
He brought it down, brought it up, and finished, and you just see his game growing each season.
Another steal. Gasol leads the break. Barnes takes all the way. And you can hear the Laker contingent in this crowd here in Denver applauding their play as they've taken a 3-point lead.
5 turnovers now for Denver. George Karl going to get a timeout. He's gone to this small lineup to try to beat LA with speed. If you're going to go small, you better take care of the basketball.
You see right here, Brown goes up, protects the ball, and then is able to elevate, bring it back up, and finish. What a terrific athletic move by Shannon Brown.
That's what needs to be done, and how to play together. You know, and that's really important. That's really been a key factor for us.
Well, Lamar Odom recently said that the strength of our team is our time together, and I think that's so true. You look at what's going on with Miami right now. They're 5-4, all that talent, but they're just getting to know each other, and that's the beauty of this sport. You have to play together as a team.
Steve Blake. Steve Blake from that left-hand corner, deadly with a 3-point shot. And the Lakers now lead at 36-30. Here's Lawson, he got the step. Brown. Shannon Brown finding the wide open Matt Barnes.
Talk about the second unit, the ability to come on and supply some energy, just what the veteran first unit needs. A little bit of youth out there, getting some easy points in transition.
9-0 run by the Lakers. Aflalo not able to hit. The rookie Forbes gets inside. It counts in the foul. Gary Forbes, who started 2 games earlier this season out of Cologne, Panama, grew up in Brooklyn, began his college career at Virginia, 2 years at Virginia, then transferred to the University of Massachusetts.
You don't really know what he is position-wise. You know, he plays some 4 for them. He also will play some 3. He can step outside, make a shot. What he is more than anything is just tough. He just plays. He gets after it every night.
He's played in the Philippines, Israel, the D-League. Was a long shot to make this team when he came to training camp. Not able to complete the three-point play. So the Lakers now lead at 38-32. And the foul is called as Devin Ebanks, rather a Derek character who just checked in, rookie out of UTEP, second-round draft pick, was hacked on the play. Foul committed by Harrington. That is his second. As we take a look at the upcoming national TV schedule, ESPN Friday, 7 o'clock Eastern Time. It's Utah at Atlanta, Portland at Oklahoma City, and NBA TV on Sunday starting at 7 o'clock. Houston Rockets playing the Knicks in New York. And you can go to NBA.com/fan night and vote for the matchup that you want to watch on Tuesday, November 16th. Voting ends at midnight Eastern Time.
You see Derek Character out here. This is a very thin front line without Andrew Bynum. Remember last year they had DJ Benga, they had Josh Powell, they had a pretty big front line coming off the bench. This year Character seeing some minutes early on because of that lack of front court depth.
Character defending on Nene, and Nene with his first bucket.
You saw some ball movement finally from Denver instead of 3 or 4 guys trying to go one-on-one each time and break the defense down off the dribble. They passed it, and the ball moves quicker than the defensive bodies.
Shannon Brown in his 5th year out of Michigan State. Originally a first-round pick of Cleveland. Lakers acquired him from Charlotte, and he turned down more money to re-sign with the Lakers. Here is Anthony. Carmelo's had the touch. 6 of 12, 13 points.
Now you talk about Shannon Brown. You know, every interview you hear from him, every quote, he says, "I don't want to be known as a dunker." And he's worked so hard on that jump shot as Artest knocks it down. Both teams starting to pick it up here, but Brown 42% last year, up to 50 this year. That work is really paying off.
That counts, and the foul. Nene will head to the line. The Lakers averaging 112 points a game, lead the NBA, lead in three-point shooting.
Little dribble penetration, draw the big man underneath, and just find your open big man who steps right to the opening in the middle of the lane.
Foul committed by Matt Barnes, so Nene, a 70% free throw shooter, completes the three-point play. Brown and Blake in the backcourt. Here's Brown for 3. And Violet Palmer calling a loose ball foul on Barnes.
And Marv, you started to talk about some of those offensive numbers for the Lakers. You know, a year ago, they weren't a great shooting team. I mean, they struggled from the three-point line. I don't think anybody expects these numbers to keep up. But with Brown's improvement and the addition of Steve Blake, no question, this team has improved. You see the numbers this year. How about the point differential? Plus 12.5, 112 points a game. Assists way up. This team just really executes in the half court.
It's early on. They're shooting almost 44% from the three-point line. A year ago, Carmelo misses the layup. Another offensive rebound on the inside. Second one, and Nene with the third.
That counts, and the foul. Foul is on Character.
The effort here, you look like for sure he's going to lay it in. He misses. He's so quick jumping, gets a second opportunity, then they with the third opportunity, and now a chance for the three-point play.
talking with George Karl prior to the game. George telling us that we don't have very much room for error with our team. Feels they played very well in 7 of the 8 games. They're 4-4. They opened the season at 4-2. Blown out in Indiana, that wild one on Tuesday night. Here is Brown, who's been feeling it. The rebound handled by Forbes.
No Anderson, no Kenyon Martin. And Nene missed 3 games, so the front line really has been decimated. You see Lawson picking up the foul on Steve Blake. So I agree. I think this team has done about as well as it has. You see Martin there, not expected back till after the new year. Chris Anderson probably back sometime around Thanksgiving. There you see Birdman, the new tats on the neck. New do.
Recovering from knee surgery.
It's like a scarf he's wearing, but I don't think it is.
I thought actually the conversation with both coaches before the game rather refreshing. George Karl was so honest and open. Phil Jackson talking about his team compared to, you know, the 72-win Chicago team. George Karl talking to us about what's gone on in his life, you know, in the struggle and battle against cancer.
Well, he's made it back from throat and neck cancer. Missed the stretch run last season with assistant Adrian Dantley filling in for George. George Karl in his 7th year as the head coach of the Nuggets, the 7th winningest coach in NBA history, coming into tonight 990 victories.
I think one of the more underrated coaches in league history. He's had so much success pretty much everywhere he's been.
Bryant was blocked. He thought he was fouled. And they with the lead, Anthony able to finish. 10 consecutive points by the Nuggets, and they've taken a 2-point lead. Just under 6 remaining in this first half. Artest wide open. Will not count. Offensive foul.
Well, we're starting to see the Nuggets play the way they want to play.
Had a lot of guys that like to take people off the dribble. Carmelo Anthony likes to put it on the floor. J.R. Smith, Ty Lawson. Instead, when you throw 3, 4, 5 passes, you wind up with great shots.
And as we heard George in strong voice, we talked about it before the game, as Nene is hacked. And we asked, do you hold back using your voice? Do you keep the decibel level down? He said, that due to the throat cancer. He said, no, no problem. And George sounded pretty well.
And it's great to see him. He looks good. He's lost a lot of weight. And he says that it's a healthy way of losing weight. He's eating better. He's exercising. He's learned a lot about how to manage his health.
All right, Nene back at the line. Let's check in with David Aldridge.
You guys talking about George Karl, keep in mind his contract as a coach is up after this season. There's been a lot of speculation about whether or not the Nuggets will bring him back. The issue, as I understand it, has been pay during a lockout. You know, a lot of teams are telling their coaches that they're not going to pay him full salary during a lockout. But I was also told that the Nuggets think that George is a big part of their future, and they have every intention of bringing him back after this season, guys.
All right, thank you, David. A 12-0 run put together here by Denver. Odom way off. Smith finding Lawson for 3. Rebounded by Odom.
That's the only thing I'll say about paying a coach or not paying him during lockout. If and when there was a lockout and it ends suddenly, you would expect that coaching staff, as Gasol hits the little lefty floater, you would expect that coaching staff to be ready the next day to start practice and have everything rolling. So they have to do all the work to be prepared, to be ready to go, but you shouldn't pay him for it.
Well, maybe there's a compromise. Maybe you pay him partially of what you owe them, because there aren't any games being played and the owners aren't making any money either. So
here is Bryant. So we get the general manager's point of view and the coach's point of view.
I had this discussion last year quite often. Both sides are going to be facing some pain for sure.
And apparently a fight back behind the basket to our left. Fight breaking out in the stands. And people checking it out as J.R. Smith is called for the foul.
You know, one of the things that happens when the Lakers go on the road, there are so many Laker jerseys up there. And every once in a while, you get somebody who's had a little too much to drink and things get out of hand.
Yes, I do see the purple and gold in that area.
Every arena.
Yeah. All right, here is Bryant again. Yes, the foul committed by Phillips. And Kobe, who struggled with the shot here at the start, will go to the line. He's just 2 of 10 from the field.
Remember, Kobe was 28% shooting the ball in the preseason, so it's taken him some time to get going. Struggling here tonight. You see that jumper going down, just 2 of 10, but his shooting percentage about 43%. He doesn't have the conditioning level that he's eventually going to need. The difficult part is, how does he get there? Because he's not practicing a whole lot with that knee situation.
No, actually, Fisher and Bryant, both of them, really have been reduced to basically not practicing. They want to keep him off the court. We see the jump ball taking place. Phil Jackson very aware of the mileage that they have on their legs over the years. So when they have an off day and the team is practicing, those guys like shoot, go on the side, do a little, ride the bike, that type of thing. But they don't want them on the court practicing a lot until later on in the season as they come down the stretch.
Excellent play by Artest to get the jump. Fisher controls. Fisher. Bryant trailing the play. Lakers now lead 51-48. They've put together a 7-0 run. Anthony. Rebounded by Gasol.
Lakers are playing much faster this year. They're taking 5 more field goal attempts a game. I think some of it is they're just feeling so confident that they're playing a little looser than they did a year ago.
Little volleyball effect. And Dan Crawford calling the foul on Lamar Odom.
Nene and Phillips couldn't wait for that ball to come down a little bit. They knew they had 3 white jerseys out in front of them. They just wanted to be able to tip it ahead.
Lakers over the foul limit. And one of the best free throw shooters in the NBA, Chauncey Billups, to the line. 44 of 48 at the foul line this season, 92%. Last year, 4th in the league at 91%. Steve Nash led the way. A programming reminder, it's the event that everyone's talking about. It's Conan weeknights at 11:10 Central, only on TBS. Three and a half minutes remaining in this first half. And Bryant draws the foul. Once again, Kobe Bryant heads to the line. This is the second of our Thursday night TNT doubleheader. Earlier, the Celtics winning in Miami, 112-107. Led by Ray Allen, 35 points. Rajon Rondo, who had an incredible opening night game in Boston against Miami with 19 assists, posted 16 assists. This evening, LeBron James, 35 points, but Boston now 7-2, and as you mentioned, Steve, Miami drops to 5-4.
And one of the things that I think is fun about watching Boston and the Lakers is just the way the pieces fit. We got Kobe Bryant here as the lead man with the Lakers, but Paugasol, obviously a star in his own right, plays a totally different game than Kobe. Lamar Odom kind of makes it work. Boston's the same way. Pierce, Allen, very different players. Garnett, an incredible defender. Rondo, terrific point guard. The pieces all fit, and I think that's what's fun about both these teams.
Oh, beautiful move by Nene. 12 points for Nene.
And I think we have to give some credit to both coaches because they've both done a great job of making the players believe in each other, buy into one another. It's a team going after, not individual.
Last touch by Harrington. It'll be Laker ball, but first, a timeout. The game is tied at 52. Nene coming up in Denver. Lakers 8-0 coming into tonight. Best starts in NBA history. Houston Rockets 15-0 in 93-94. Washington Capitals back in the 1948-49 season, 15-0. That Washington team coached by Red Auerbach. How about the Mavericks? 02-03 at 14-0. Best start in Laker history as Billups tees it up to 3. Lakers went 11-0 back in 97, 98. Phil Jackson's Bulls of 96-97 started out at 12-0. Here's our test for 3. So our test comes right back following the Billups 3, and the game is tied at 55.
It's like both teams came out of the timeout and said, okay, we're just going to launch threes now. Take all 3-point shots.
Aaron Aflalo for Al Harrington from downtown. So the ball back to the Lakers.
Harrington hasn't been able to get it going so far, but what they want out of him is just that. Space the floor, shoot threes. When you have a 4-man who can shoot the ball from distance, it really opens up the floor for people like Carmelo and Lawson, and the penetration lanes are there.
Harrington missed a couple of weeks of training camp with an injured left foot and doesn't seem to be moving as well as he usually does. Here's Bryant, kicks it back. Gasol flips it. Tip missed by Odom. Artest for 3. And a loose ball foul called on the Nuggets. John Goebel, the outside official, indicated Nene was pushing, and that's 3 on the name.
Pau Gasol's facial reaction was he thought the whistle went against him as Nene went flying out of bounds, but instead the official saw it a little bit differently.
Point number 10 for Pau Gasol.
Let's take a look. It sure looked like the foul was going to be on Gasol, and I think what the call was, Nene kind of had his arm wrapped around Gasol. You can see his left arm. Still, though, when you got inside position, generally you're going to get the benefit of the call.
Pau averaging 23 points a game, off to a great start, shooting 55% from the field. Anthony set the pick up high, and as Phillips made his move, he was blocked by Fisher.
Yeah, this is a move by Phil Jackson to get Gasol out of the game before he picks up his 3rd foul. He's got 2 now, minute 26 remaining in the half. He's going to sit him down so he still has 4 to play with in the second half.
Derek Character played briefly early in the second quarter, checking back in. Chauncey Billups, 5-time All-Star, most valuable player of the finals back in 2004 with his Detroit Pistons, winning the championship. As I mentioned, the number 4 free throw shooter last season. Steve Nash leading the way.
Phillips did a pretty good job leading that young group that went over and won a gold medal in the World Championships this summer.
I would argue that Kevin Durant led that group, though, Mike, but I know what you're saying. Good tip in from Derek Character.
What a diplomatic way of saying, you fool, what are you talking about?
I mean, Billups was all right, but Durant averaged like 30 a game.
That would be a shooter's mentality if it was Durant. There are other ways to lead, Steve.
Aflalo misfired. Here comes Odom. He leads a 3-on-2. I believe sources told him.
Yes,
that's right.
Chauncey left. Not to say Chauncey didn't do a good job. Here's Bryant getting to the rim.
And that's the problem for Denver if you're going to go small. No rim protection.
Billups with the step back, way off. It's a 5-second differential.
and that's why I think Chauncey shot that one so quickly. He was trying to get a 2-for-1 for Denver on the way back.
Bryant working the clock down. Fisher with a deep 3. Derek Fisher from downtown. Final seconds of the half. Here's Billups accelerating and draws the foul with 1.7 to go in this first half.
How about the drive on the baseline from Kobe Bryant? A help very late. Kobe loves to go off that right foot and dunk with 2 hands. That's a move we've seen him make countless times during his career.
Foul committed by the rookie out of UTEP, Derek Character. So Billups again at the line. He's 4 of 4 at the line.
As soon as Billups got fouled, the interesting thing was he went to his teammates who were supposed to be rotating on that last offensive move by the Lakers and basically said, where were you on the rotation? You have to come across the lane. You can't let Kobe lay it up that easily.
1 7/10 seconds remaining in the half. Bryant. Chauncey Billups with the last 7 points for Denver. Most of the damage done at the foul line. Halftime in the Mile High City. And the Lakers with a 64-59 lead. Ron Artest leads the way with first. Denver at the 42. 11 fast break points for the Lakers and a slight edge in terms of points in the paint. Kobe Bryant opens up the third quarter. 4 of 15 shooting for Kobe in the first half. Missed his first 6 shots. He's given the Lakers a 7-point lead. Denver with their starting lineup: Carmelo Anthony, Sheldon Williams, Nene. This is Aaron Aflalo. He's in the backcourt with Chauncey Billups. Fisher met by Billups. Bryant and Fisher at the guards. Gasol, Odom, and Artest up front. Here's Kobe on a spin. Yes. And Kobe Bryant has become the youngest player in NBA history to reach 26,000 points at 32 years of age, 32 and 80 days to be precise. Wilt Chamberlain was 32 years old and 114 days when he scored 26,000. Bryant. So Kobe hit his first 2 shots, and on that miss, a foul is called on Carmelo Anthony. That's his second.
To hear the studio guys, Kevin McHale in particular, making the point about somewhere in this second half, the Lakers will go on a 16-2 or 16-4 run and open this up, very similar to what his great Celtics team used to do. Let teams hang around for a while, make a decision when it was time to put them to sleep.
Artest has the baseline closed. Forced the shot, rebounded by Odom. Biggest lead of the night for the Lakers. Lamar Odom with his first field goal, and George Karl calls for
of rebounds for LA.
Lakers by 11. Strong move by Anthony, Carmelo Anthony, with 17 points.
You don't realize how strong he is. When he gets going to the basket on a fast break, forget about it. He's like a runaway locomotive. Just then putting it down. 2 quick dribbles, turns the corner on Artest, who's pretty strong himself.
Artest going at Anthony, bottled him up, stripped him, recovered by Gasol. Fisher for 3. Yes. 8 points for Derek Fisher. That's his second for beyond the 3-point line of the Lakers. Now lead by 12. Lakers looking to bounce back from a flat performance in the win over the Minnesota T-Wolves in their last game Tuesday night. Nice pass by Anthony, slipping it inside to Nene. In fact, it was Derek Fisher after the game who said the way we played was irresponsible, reckless, and disrespectful to the game.
And they won.
Yes.
That's when you know you're good. When you're winning games and everybody's ripping each other afterwards.
Phillips using the pick. Fisher able to recover. Nene going at Gasol, gives it up. Here's Aflalo. He thought he was fouled.
He was fouled. Kobe hit him right on the head.
Bryant gives it back to Fisher. Finding Gasol.
And that's beautiful basketball right there. Derek Fisher had hit a couple jump shots, missed his last one right before that, elevated and finds his big man going right to the rim for an offensive rebound.
Opening minutes, third quarter, and the Lakers up 75-63. Here is Billups from downtown. He This is game 2 of our Thursday night doubleheader. Earlier was the Celtics winning in Miami 112-107. Bryant for 3 comes right back to Gasol. As George Karl mentioned a moment ago, there have been some pretty good hops. Nice move by Artest. In terms of rebounds, Lakers have gotten a few breaks.
Long shots lead to long rebounds, but still, as George said to his team, I mean, you got to go get them.
Anthony, Carmelo Anthony.
What's happened is the Lakers have started overloading to the side of Anthony. Paugasol basically left his man come over and zone the low area, and it's discouraged Carmelo now from putting the ball back down on the floor.
Odom. Odom is looking for a goaltend on Nene. Phillips finding Williams. Sheldon Williams is fouled. Combination of Gasol and Artest making contact.
Whenever the ball comes over to this area, watch as they pass the ball now to Carmelo Anthony. And you see what happens is, hold it right there. Pau Gasol winds up staying here, so he discourages this move from Anthony because basically he's just zoning off that low area, playing a one-man zone back there. Carmelo gives it up, swings it to the other side of the floor.
Foul was committed by Gasol. Sheldon Williams on the line. Substitutions for the Nuggets. J.R. Smith checking in along with Al Harrington was about to come on. Apparently to replace Sheldon Williams, so he will next dead ball. Sheldon Williams working his way into the starting lineup over the injury to Kenyon Martin. Gasol coming up short, rebounded by Williams.
He never got it out of his hand. He just let it go, didn't get it above the rim.
Williams, it counts, and the foul. So Al Harrington remains at the scorer's table.
If the Lakers have a weakness, they're not real physical on the front line. You see Billups get the ball to Sheldon Williams, and you know, Odom very small as a foreman, not really a rim protector. Gasol, although he's very tall and long, he can be physically pounded upon. Remember Boston a couple of years ago in the final, or two of the last 3 years, they've really tried to put bodies on him. And that's where the absence of Andrew Bynum really comes into play. When a team gets physical with them, they're a little bit vulnerable.
Bynum still recovering from knee surgery. Phil Jackson telling us earlier he's hoping that Andrew will be back around Thanksgiving. Bryant. Nice spinning move by Kobe for 19 points, and he has certainly picked it up here in the third quarter. Overall 7 for 20. This after missing his first 6 shot attempts. Anthony lost the handle, but it's deflected out. Last touch by Artest.
Steve, when you were playing for the Bulls way back, did you ever see that last play that the Lakers just ran? Yeah, way back when that was throw it to Kobe and you other 4 guys get on the other side of the floor. Did they do that with Michael Jordan?
No, they did it. They did it with Judd Bushler, actually.
You see, you take a shot, Joe, and you know he's going to be very upset with you. That counts, and the foul. So Carmelo Anthony picks it up, and he'll head to the line. Foul is called on Artest.
And there's that ball movement you talked about, Mike. And I think that's the thing with Denver. When they execute, you know, they run great stuff. I mean, George Karl is a brilliant offensive mind. When they run their stuff all the way through and they execute, they move the ball. They're very difficult to guard. It's when the ball movement breaks down, they start going one-on-one. That's when they suffer.
The Lakers' 14-point lead is down to 8. Odom. Lamar just 1 of 6 from the field. Marv Albert, Steve Kerr, the czar, Mike Fratello, David Aldridge. We're in Denver, Colorado. First meeting of the season between the Lakers and the Nuggets. Shot clock is down to 5. Harrington from straightaway for 3. The Nuggets are within 5.
Al Harrington can be a very explosive offensive player. We saw him with the Knicks, and there were often nights where he went for 30-35 on the floor for New York, and he can do the same thing here for Denver.
Bryant for 3. So Kobe right back
I think the Lakers love this situation. I think they enjoy the game more when a team makes a run. And when the Lakers are on the road, that's when they feel that juice. They feel that competitive desire coming in.
Harrington again for three. Just under 5 minutes remaining in the third. Bryant out to travel. Kobe gets it right back. Now met by Smith. Fires for three. Bryant with a step back had very little space.
It was 5 points like 30 seconds ago. Right back to 11.
Phillips, yes. And Phil Jackson takes a timeout. It's the Lakers by 9.
Compared to last year, Kobe was at 21.5. Gasol only 13. LA has really asked Gasol to be more aggressive, more assertive, become a bigger part of the offense, and those numbers almost exactly the same. I think that's where they probably should be. Gasol so effective on the interior, probably the best big man offensively in the game right now. And when they're balanced, when their attack is balanced, Lakers are almost impossible to stop.
But tonight, a pretty good differential between the two, with Powell attempting 12 shots and Kobe with 22 attempts.
Yeah, Kobe wants to change that number back to what it was last year.
Is Pau Gasol the best foreign player to ever play in the NBA?
Great question. I think so. I think.
Here's Bryant again from downtown. He thought he was fouled. Well, he put the names Dirk Nowitzki in there, like Yao Ming.
Steve Nash, even though you don't really think of him as
British Columbia. Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, Drazen Petrovic, although he unfortunately spent a short time in the NBA. Vlade Divac.
I take it
Tony
back.
Kukoc.
There is one guy who's better. Smith will go to the line getting fouled. Hakeem Olajuwon's the #1 foreign player of all time, but I think Gasol's probably next on that list.
But you just said it was Gasol a second ago.
Yeah, and then I
changed your mind.
thought, yeah, because you just popped the question.
In the fourth quarter, we have another. You'll have somebody else in the
No, I'm
fourth
going to
quarter?
stick with Hakeem.
Okay.
Would you like to answer your own question?
From a man accustomed to changing his mind on a regular basis and not coming up with an opinion.
The waffler.
I resent it.
Be there live for all the action. Go to NBA.com/tickets now to reserve your seats to see your favorite NBA team take the court. The NBA, where amazing happens. It's quite a transition I just made.
It's good. Solid.
It's amazing.
How about Arvydas Sabonis? Had his best years overseas.
Yeah, not in the NBA. Detlef Shrimp, another player. Not bad.
Tony Kukoc, another one.
Gasol off the rim, rebounded by Anthony.
Let's just keep listing every foreign guy we can think of.
Gasol went down, and Nene able to take advantage.
When Nene got it going late in the second quarter and really started to pound Gasol inside, I think Denver has to continue to go into him.
Season high, 16 points for Nene. Gasol, as he backed his way, he was fouled by Nene. That's 4 on Nene.
You see Nene pull the chair right at the end. He knows Gasol's got to watch him back off all of a sudden. He grabbed his wrist, and that's probably where the foul was called, when Nene grabbed Powell's left wrist. But he did a nice job of backing off the contact right away. Gasol lost his balance.
Now, you had Pau Gasol with the Memphis Grizzlies.
I did.
And he was a very good player at that time. Did you think that he would ever reach these heights?
Yeah, in all honesty, yes, I did. Remember, he made his first All-Star game when he was in Memphis. And there was no question. I mean, that's where the ball went at the end of our games. And we tried to play through or off of Pau. And, then we had people like Mike Miller on the perimeter. If you're going to come down on him, you're going to pay the price. But he was so skilled, Mark. It was, conditioning at that time. He wasn't as strong back then. He's stronger now than he was then. He would get fatigue from people, like Steve said. They would just put people and pound on him all the time. It would wear him down at the end of games. but he was so good offensively.
Here's Phillips. Changed his mind, and Fisher was right there.
Derek Fisher knew he was beaten. There was no sense trying to catch his guy from behind. He relied on his teammate to stop him, and he ran to where the next logical pass would be.
Offensive foul. It is on Bryant.
You'll watch Fisher. Fisher misses. Watch Fisher come right to the corner. He goes right to where he anticipates the ball is going to be. Winds up with the interception.
First turnover committed by the Lakers in this third quarter. Lakers have led by as many as 14. It is now a 7-point lead. J.R. Smith for three. He has not been able to find the ring.
35% shooting on the season for JR. We're used to seeing some offensive explosions out of him.
Bryant to the bucket and foul. Foul committed by Harrington. That's his third.
Steve, it's tough to have an explosion with only 2 shots.
And we're not used to seeing that from Smith. I mean, this is a guy who's never met a shot he didn't like. And you think about this Denver team the last few years between Carmelo, J.R. Smith, Chauncey, and of course you get the big guys with Nene and Kenyon Martin running and rebounding, blocking shots. It's one of the most explosive teams in the league.
Bryant 5 of 7 at the line. Here's George Karl on the subject of J.R. Smith. He said, I've said it 100 times, he takes out the bad, the more he'll play. It's just the bad shots, bad defense, bad reads, unfocused defensive concepts. And effective, you can turn that all around.
That's all. Other than that, he's great.
But he is so dangerous when he gets going, because we've seen games, particularly here in Denver, where J.R. Smith has been able to turn things around. Phillips for three. Gasol with the rebound. They're going to hold on as Anthony tried to knock it away. Here's Steve Blake, who just checked back in. Blake and Brown coming on. They played well in the second quarter. So it's a 3-guard set for the Lakers. Gasol is down deep. Rebound handled by Anthony.
Lakers had the advantage with Gasol on Anthony, and Gasol tried to draw the foul, couldn't get it.
Oh, what a move. A series of moves by Carmelo Anthony. He beats Ron Artest. He beats Shannon Brown. The Nuggets once again within 5. Gasol played by Harrington. So the head fake. Ball knocked away by Harrington.
After playing defense on Gasol, Carmelo Anthony attacks in transition, keeps the dribble locked just long enough, splits the 2 defenders, then he's so strong around the rim.
Lakers without a field goal the last 3.5 minutes. Ty Lawson on the floor now for Denver, defending on Steve Blake. Artest able to get inside. Anthony was looking for a foul, looking for the offensive foul. So Ron Artest played well. He now has 18 points. Lakers lead it by 7.
Every time George Karl puts Nene on the bench, whether it's foul trouble or going to this small lineup, Lakers are attacking on the interior.
So that count, he gets the continuation. The basket by J.R. Smith, and he'll head to the line.
Maybe that's what's going to get JR going, because he really hasn't looked for his shot tonight. You see the great cut to the basket. Brown with the hand on his arm. Chance for the N1. And Smith is a guy who just has to get things going here, not only tonight, but during this season for Denver to succeed.
Well, Steve, last year he fired up 467 shots from 3-point range and shot only 34% from 3. 467.
Under Antoine Walker's line, and said, why do you shoot so many threes? He said, because they don't have any 4s.
Bryant on a fade. Stay right here, says the official John Goldman, and he's called a technical foul. Denver had a foul to give. The technical on Carmelo Anthony.
You see there's a crowd right there. Carmelo can't believe that he's called for it. And then by slapping his hands, there's that disrespect for the game interpretation by the official.
One of the new rules this season. And Carmelo complaining about that call. So he's teed up. Denver had a foul to give. They do not go to the line for the personal. Half minute left in the third. Shannon Brown for three. Brown has 10 points. Nuggets holding for a final shot of the third quarter. Down to 10 seconds. Anthony. Here's Brown, gets it up.